Hello and welcome to Asset Television News. I am Manya Osibi. First, the headlines. Fcta orders transport operators to bus terminals. Security forces rescue 33 kidnapped bus passengers. And Joe Biden's health condition worsens. Now the news in details. The Federal Capital Territory Administration has issued a fresh warning to commercial transport operators still working from illegal parks and roadside locations across Abuja, insisting they relocate to designated bus terminals or risk having their operations shut down and their vehicles impounded. Mandate Secretary, FCT Transportation Secretariat Chinedum Elechi gave the warning at a news conference in Abuja. According to him, all authorized loading points will be shut down and non-compliant vehicles seized outright, pointing out that the administration had earlier directed transport operators to fully migrate operations into ultra-modern bus terminals, stating with the facility in Mabushi, adding that the clampdown on unauthorized motor parks were indirect fulfillment of the mandate handed down by the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike to restore order, decency and security to the nation's capital. To manage the terminal's efficiency, the FCTA has partnered with private operators, including Planet Projects, under a public-private partnership agreement. Elechi pointed out the Secretary's authority is anchored on Order 1, established under President Olusegun Obasanjo administration, and the Transportation Regulation of 2023, which empowered it to license operators, seal unauthorized private premises, use as makeshift park, and confiscate non-compliance vehicles. Inter-Party Advisory Council (IPAC) has urged political leaders in Osun State to shun violence ahead of Saturday's governorship election. IPAC National Chairman Yusuf Dantale expressed concerns over rising political tensions and reported incidents of violence in parts of the state. He said it was wrong for politicians to attack the same people whose votes they are seeking for. Antele warned that if electoral violence persists in Osun State, it could serve as a warning sign ahead of the 2027 general elections. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has hailed the growing continental recognition of the Nigerian Customs Service (NCS) modernization program following the selection of a subsidiary of the Nigerian-owned Bergmont Security Consultants and Supplies Limited to implement a 20-year multi-billion-dollar customs modernization project under the African Continental Free Trade Area. The president described the development as a major violation of Nigeria's growing capacity to develop indigenous solutions capable of serving the wider African market. Tinubu's commendation was obtained in a statement issued by his special advisor on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, following the selection of Bergmant's subsidiary AfriTrade Limited for the Continental Project. The project is expected to deploy digital and physical infrastructure to strengthen customs processes, cargo tracking, border management and trade data exchange across participating African countries. The president noted that the development was particularly significant because another subsidiary of the Nigerian company is already implementing Nigeria's homegrown customs modernization program in collaboration with the NCS. According to him, the success of the Nigerian model demonstrates the depth of local expertise and the increasing capacity of Nigerian institutions and businesses to shape the future of customs administration and continental trade infrastructure. I will now take a short break, and when we return, we'll bring you more stories. Welcome back from the break. Over 176 women and children abducted by suspected terrorists from Wuru community in Kayama local government area of Kwara State have reportedly regained their freedom after spending 6 months in captivity. The victims were kidnapped in February 2026 when heavily armed terrorists suspected to be members of Boko Haram invaded the community, killing more than 200 residents in one of the deadliest attacks recorded in Kwara State. Asset Television News gathered that the victims were released after months in custody of the terrorists. Details surrounding the circumstances of their release, including whether any ransom was paid or the nature of the security operations involved, were not made available as at the time of filing this report. Confirming the development, the Kwara State government announced the victims' release in a post shared on its official social media platform, which it wrote, "Breaking news. Wuru kidnapped victims regain freedom." Senior Special Assistant to the Kwara State Governor on Communications, Ibrahim Abdul-Latif, also confirmed the development in a statement describing the rescue as a significant breakthrough. The abduction of the 176 women and children followed the February 2026 assault on Wuru community, where suspected Boko Haram terrorists reportedly killed more than 200 residents before taking hundreds of women and children away into captivity. In the same vein, troops of Sector 2 Joint Task Force Northwest Operation Fcta has rescued 33 kidnapped passengers in Safi local government area of Zamfara State following a swift response to credible intelligence reports on the kidnap of commuters by terrorists. In a statement by the Media Information Officer of the Operation Fcta, Lieutenant Colonel Aliu Danja said the victims were rescued along Funtua Gusau Road. He explained that the troops, in conjunction with the personnel of the Nigerian police force deployed at Safi, received credible information through the Magazo area of Safi local government area. Acting promptly, the troops mobilized to the location and made contact with the terrorists who were already moving the abducted passengers to an unknown destination. Lieutenant Colonel Danja noted that the troops engaged the terrorists with effective fire, forcing them to abandon the victims and flee into adjoining bushes. The troops then secured and rescued all 33 abducted persons. Following the rescue, troops commenced exploration of the general area and continued efforts to tracking the fleeing terrorists. Now to this foreign scene. Hunter Biden, son of former U.S. President Joe Biden, says his father's prostate cancer has spread to other parts of his body, leaving him in pain despite his regular public appearances. The 56-year-old revealed this in an interview with BBC recently, stated that his father's condition is painful and so sad to watch. The former president announced his diagnosis in May 2025, less than 4 hours after leaving the White House, noting that at the time the cancer was immune sensitive and was expecting it to respond well to treatment. He added that the situation represents a more aggressive form of the disease. The cancer appears to be hormone sensitive, which allows for effective management. And now to some entertainment news. The ongoing feud in the P-Square family has continued to generate reactions following Peter Okoye's release of Part A of his Tell All series. In parts 1 to 7, Peter made series of allegations surrounding the management and sharing of P-Square's finances, including claims that millions of dollars in royalties were diverted into accounts he was allegedly unaware of. Peter also accused his elder brother Jude and the twin brother Paul of involvement in financial dealings concerning the group. Peter's claims have been disrupted by Jude, who has released his own responses and denied allegations of financial wrongdoing. Paul has also reacted to some of the accusations. However, Part 8 took a more personal turn, with Peter speaking out on how his late mother and family treated his wife, Lola, during her pregnancy period. The latest revelations have further intensified the public debate over the long-running fallout between the P-Square brothers. And that's the news at this moment. Do well to follow us on our social media handles for more updates on the news. On behalf of the news crew, I am Manya Osebi. Many thanks for watching.